Okay, the agenda for the webinar today is focused on presenting the growth targets that we have set for MyBit. We have increased the growth target for 2024. And we have also announced our targets for 2025. So we will go more into the background of that and explain a little bit more about those. We have a financial year that goes from May 1st to April 30th. So we still have 4 months or 3.5 months left of the 2024 financial year. And we will also present our business areas with the business to consumer and business to business areas. So Eric will go through that and explain a little bit more about those. And then we will talk about our business model and the scale up of our business model and how that works, to explain the quick growth pace that MyBit are able to deliver. So it's a background to understand the low risk we have and the high potential for growth. So those are the main focus areas for this webinar. First, we then talk about the growth for 2024, which we recently announced an upgrade of the growth target to 25.5 million Swedish kronor. The reason for that increase is that we have a significant growth rate in the business to consumer area. It's running really well. Although we had a little slowdown in Q3 due to the integration efforts that we have to do based on the acquisitions done of 2 organizations this fall. But we are accelerating the growth the coming 4 months. So that includes January and February, March, and April. The B2B acquisition is one of the drivers for that increased goal. So that B2B comes on the top of the B2C business for the last quarter. And that acquisition will strengthen our team with very experienced management resources, as well as a strengthening of the sales organization. So we are very happy with the acquisition done. And then we have also announced further acceleration of our growth pace into 2025 and through the 2025 year. So we had announced more than 200% growth rate, up to a total revenue of 77 million Swedish kronor, which is our current target. After that, B2C will cover 55 million Swedish kronor, which is a growth rate of 130%. And then B2B will look at a target for 22 million Swedish kronor, which is a 150% growth rate. We compare then the last month the targets of the last month of each year, because we don't have a full year business revenue for the B2B. But it's a strong growth rate through the year, and it is quite linear growth rate. And we will explain a little bit more now how we are performing that. But it's an interesting observation for MyBit's investors, is that at the final month of that year, at the last month of 2025, our revenue on a monthly basis is targeted to 10 million Swedish kronor per month. So, and when you look at our business model that we are going to go through in detail afterwards, you will see that that is a very strong starting point for the further growth going into the year after. So I think for us and for our customers and for our investors, this should be of great interest. So Eric, I suggest you explain a little bit more about our B2C and B2B business and how that fits in going forward.
Så vi har då en tvådelad affärsmodell inom business to consumer, och där fokuserar vi på intern försäljning med löpande utbildning och rekrytering av egen personal, och i nästa steg då partner sales, alltså extern försäljning. Idag väljer 95% av kunderna 24 månaders bindningstid när de tecknar ett nytt MyBit-avtal då. Vår produktportfölj är väldigt attraktiv idag. Vi kan erbjuda abonnemang inom mobil och bredband med 5G-uppkoppling, men även då elabonnemang. Och sen så har vi då tilläggstjänster kopplade till våra mobil-, el- och bredbandsabonnemang som är bedrägeriskydd för våra kunder och tjänster inom internetsäkerhet. Och sen så har vi en partner som kan erbjuda oss möjligheten att erbjuda tv och streaming för våra kunder då, helt enkelt. Partnersamarbeten, alltså den externa försäljningen, den kommer att fungera med att de erbjuder då mobil- och bredbandsabonnemang, och vi då på MyBit ansvarar för kvalitetssäkring och där vi går igenom vidare behov och uppsäljningsmöjligheter i vår onboardingprocess. Och detta kommer vi komma igång med redan nu under Q4 2024. Och sen så har vi även ytterligare nya potentiella fokusområden som hårdvaruförsäljning till våra befintliga kunder. Så har vi då business to business, där har vi hittat många fina synergieffekter och ett liknande affärsupplägg. Här kan vi erbjuda mobilabonnemang via Tele2s nät, till skillnad från konsumentdelen där vi erbjuder mobilabonnemang via Telenors nät då. Vi har även här attraktiva priser för våra kunder och en säker uppkoppling med tilläggstjänster som inom då IT-säkerhet och bedrägeriskydd och bolagsbevakning med flera. På B2B-sidan så väljer 85% av kunderna 36 månaders bindningstid och 10% av kunderna väljer 24 månaders bindningstid. Affärsstrategin här är också tvådelad som sagt, och där har vi då intern försäljning, en egen försäljningsorganisation som erbjuder hela sortimentet, och partner säljer då mobilabonnemang, var även här MyBit då ansvar för kvalitetssäkring, onboarding och övriga behov helt enkelt. Och detta har vi en lansering då i Q4. Nya områden som vi kommer att kolla på här nu, som Även här då hårdvaruförsäljning, molnbaserade växellösningar och abonnemang då med körjournal för förmånsbil för våra företagskunder.
Then, well, thank you, Eric, for going through that, and then I will talk a little bit about our business model, which is based on, as you understand, also from Eric's presentation there, recurring income in long-term agreements. So it's 2 and 3 years. I can see it says 26 months here, but it's actually 36. But it's 2 or 3 years agreements, and also our business model is based on a strong personal customer service, where customers can call us and at any time and in our service time, and this adds a lot of customer satisfaction. It brings loyalty, and it gives us a strong upsell potential when we talk to the customer and can help them also solving their problem with our valuable additional products. And we have a very scalable model, which is and we are operating in a very large market, so our scalable model has no hindrance, I would say, by the market size. Our market size is estimated to be 260 billion Swedish kronor. So when MyBit at a point in time is reaching 1 billion in revenue, we're only taking less than 1% market share in this big market that we are operating in. So the growth potential is very, very strong, and market is no hindrance. And I will explain a little bit more about the market, our view of the market. And we have a strong product portfolio with a high service level and significant savings for our customer, in that we are in the low price segment of this market, and delivering attractive prices still with a high customer service. And we are having very good margins on that, as you will see from the presentation when we go through the numbers. And it's a big upsell potential, which is strengthening our margin situation. The size of the market, I said 260 billion Swedish kronor. That's our estimate of the size based on public numbers that we can collect. And out of that, the mobile segment is about 70 billion. The power delivery is about 85 billion according to our estimates, and ID and security, IT and ID security is about 14 billion. So all those are very large, and the TV and streaming is also an important part of our business, which is very rapidly growing at a pace 3% or larger. Some say even close to 10%, and it's more than 90 billion kronor. And we have in all the primary segments, mobile, power, and ID and security, we have monthly recurring revenues. But in the TV and streaming, we have non-recurring revenues. It's per subscriber revenue on a monthly basis on the point of sales. So, but the main conclusion is that market that do not is not the limitation of our growth potential. The market size is so large, so there's plenty of space for our growth. Then I will talk about the structure of our business model, our income model. This illustration shows a sample of what it looks like for one single month, where the new sales is focused on power subscriptions, on mobile subscriptions, and on security subscriptions. And that new sales is covering roughly about 10% of a monthly income. The driver is of course our sales team. So scaling the business is through scaling up the sales team. I will go through that in the next slides. But then we have recurring revenues, which is growing every month. So now it is roughly 67% at this point, and the non-recurring income is about 23%. But the recurring income is then growing rapidly, and I will go through that with you, so to explain how it works. Looking at the income model, now I will show you how the income model works for MyBit. Looking at a first month, when month number 1, then our sales team is selling new sales of subscriptions. Then looking at the second month, where they also work on the sales of the new subscriptions, then the result of the previous month is recurring income. Recurring income with 2 to 3 years perspective. And then the third month, then the new sales in the second month has then become recurring income for 2 to 3 years, building up that stack. And that stack is then month by month increasing with recurring income with 2 to 3 years perspective. And then we have now started a sales school to scale up the sales team. And then scaling up the sales team in 1 month will mean that the next month, when the sales team is larger, they are selling a larger number of new subscriptions. And then that comes into the stack of a larger portion for the long term going forward. And the sales school is then increasing the sales team every month, and that means that the new sales is scaling up month by month, and that way we are accelerating the growth. And looking at a longer term, you will see that it's scaling up quite rapidly, and that's why we have increased our projection of our sales targets. We are scaling up very systematically the sales team, and also adding new products for upsell in the sales team. So it's a very efficient model, and I'll go back again to it. It's a very efficient model, and the risk is very low. It's pretty controllable risk, because most of the income is in long-term contracts. So the large portion of the income is in the long-term contracts. So very controllable risk. And our most important investment is in the sales team. It is to scale the sales team. And therefore we have a very systematic way of doing that in a sales school, making sure that the quality delivered by the sales team is very high. So then Eric, I suggest you can talk a little bit about the work that you're doing with the sales team.
Ja, absolut. Så i maj 2024 så var vi 12 personer i organisationen, och i januari 2025 så är vi redan 26 personer. Så målet som vi har nu då för 2025 är att vi ska komma upp i en organisation på cirka 60 personer. Och det följer den planen som vi har när det kommer till personaltillväxt. Nyckelområden för tillväxt har varit förstärkt kompetensutveckling och nya affärsområden som ger bättre karriärsmöjligheter för våra säljare helt enkelt. Så man kan klättra inom organisationen och fortsätta lära sig mer inom kommunikation då. Och vår kommunikationsstyrka stärker vår interna kultur och rekrytering från start helt enkelt. Så det var lite kort om det.
Ja. And then the further growth potential is in the additional offerings that we are doing. Today we have the mobile and the broadband products, and we have the security product, as well as the power subscription products. So that's our primary stack right now. We also have an offering of telephones today, of smartphones, but that business is now targeted to increase. That we are increasing the focus on that, and there's a big then upsell potential in other areas as well, such as insurances, and for home, for hardware, for IDs, etc. It's a strong potential in selling up insurances, safety solutions like alarms and for home, both for home and for cottages, for cars and boats and so forth, and other services that require personal support and personal sales. That's our strength, is that we have a strong sales organization talking to the customers, and a strong support organization helping the customers when they have issues that they need resolved, and we can use that as an arena for upsell and business development. So MyBit has a strong further expansion potential. So in summary, we are now coming towards the end, and we can take some questions from the audience if you have. If not, we are closing off the webinar soon. But in summary, we would say that we have a very valuable business model. So investors, customers, and employees, for all parties, it is a very valuable low risk model that has long-term relationships with the customers, both business to consumer and business to business. We deliver a high level customer service, and our margins, our gross margins are very strong. We have focused a lot on strengthening the gross margins through the last year, and succeeded very well with that. So as you have seen from the quarterly reports, we have delivered a very strong development of the gross margin. And the business model is very scalable. We have a competent team and a top motivated management team. So the business model works very well for us. And we have strong control of the risk. The risk is not very high for a rapidly growing company like ours. And we are ready for the scale up. We have a business model with automated processes, so it's very scale up ready. And we have made a school for the training of the salespeople. So that growth is a value not only to the owners and investors, but also a strong value for customers, in that we can offer even more competitive prices as we grow our business. The business that we are in is a volume business, and it's cheaper and more efficient to deliver the larger we grow it. So the customers have a big advantage of